I remember I once asked Katie whether you should always stay in the situation that you're working on, because I noticed that when you do a worksheet, the stressful thoughts that you had previously, they become less stressful. There is because you have already started doing the work on the worksheet. And one time she said, you need to stay with the original experience, and another time she said it doesn't matter, like it's it you can go with it. And then so I'm a bit confused, not really confused, but it's like when I'm doing that, what I do is I try to stick with the original experience, and if I feel but it's not true anymore, then I move on. So I don't know whether that's a good way, or I just wanted to know how you look at that.
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, specific situation is so helpful when doing the work because it helps you know what you mean when you're talking about a particular stressful thought. You know what you mean when you're talking about something that happened in a specific time, in a specific place. You know where you were, you remember the feelings, you remember the reactions. It's very helpful. So that's why Byron Katie recommends it so much. It's very helpful. But as with anything, there's no rules here. So we're exploring, and you can't explore wrong. So if you want to explore and go out of that situation, then no problem. Go and try that as well. There are times when I find myself drawn to another situation or out of situations completely, almost doing something more generally. Or sometimes I'll be touching on 3 or 4 or 5 different situations at the same time, one after the other, as I'm answering the questions. All these are possible. Just the value of the situation, if you understand that, then you can use that, but you can also deviate from that if necessary, or if you feel like it's better. And in your case, you're saying like you feel like it's not true in the situation, but you may find that it's still true in other situations, and so your mind shifts over to those other situations. So I don't see any harm in that. The only other thing you could do if you wanted to keep the same situation is, even though you're starting to see it's not true, you can still hold that situation and act or answer out of when you believed it was true. So you can still, even though you don't believe it's true now, you can still answer the questions, how do I react, from the place of when I was believing it was true, and it can be just as valuable because then you get to see the effect of that thought on you in that situation. That's the purpose of those questions anyway. So you get to see how you react, and oh my gosh, wow, I really went crazy there. I don't believe it's true anymore. So I wouldn't react the same way if the situation happened again, but I can see so clearly this is how I reacted then. And if I put myself back in there and I'm really believing it, even just in my imagination, I would react the same way if I was believing that thought. So you can still hold it in the same situation if you want to, even if the whole thing has fallen apart and makes no sense almost to you anymore. But this is exploration. So explore, try this, try that, try different ways. You have the basic idea of the work, and then just use it in different contexts to find out what, find your own way. That's what the work's about. Find your own way, find your own truth. Yeah.
Thanks.